What is up, you guys? It's Mr. Pilo. I can tell that you guys are thinking of the Pixel 4 and the 4 XL, and with that sale price, I really can't blame you. But with such a bad rep that it got last year when it released, should it even be an option today in 2020? Let's take a look at what it has to offer and how it holds up against other phones. Let's go ahead and get straight to what the Pixel 4 has to offer with this beautiful display. You are getting a 5.7-inch OLED display that is capable of 90 Hz. You're also getting that full HD plus quality at 444 ppi, so pixels per inch, and you are also getting a 19:9 aspect ratio, which is a little bit larger than the regular 16:9, but it honestly isn't bad. It gives you a bigger screen real estate. With the 4 XL, you are getting a 6.3-inch OLED display that is also capable of 90 Hz, and you're getting Quad HD Plus at 537 pixels per square inch. And I know that number is a little bit larger, but that is to be expected since the Pixel 4 XL has a larger screen. And you are also getting that 19:9 aspect ratio with the 4 XL. And like I mentioned before, this is larger than the 16:9 in most videos out there. So unfortunately, if you are going to be watching videos and you want to zoom in or you want to go full screen, you are going to be cutting off some of the top and the bottom edges of that video. Unless you guys find a video specifically made for the Pixel, like I found this one right here, it is going to give you that full 19:9 aspect ratio, and it's not really going to cut anything off except the corners there, but that's because Google really went with curved corners on this Pixel instead of straight edges. Let's go ahead and get straight to the cameras of this Pixel 4 device, and unfortunately there is no ultra wide lens, but it honestly isn't something that we use daily. It would have been nice to have it though in case we needed it. But there's also these other two great cameras on the device, including that main camera that's a 12.2 megapixel camera with an aperture of 1.7 and a 77-degree field of view. The second camera is a 16 megapixel camera, and this camera has an aperture of 2.4 with a 52-degree field of view. This camera has an optical zoom, so that means anytime you're using the normal camera, if you go at 2 times zoom or even more, it switches to that 16 megapixel camera just to get a better picture out of your phone. So the recording qualities are available at 720p, 240 frames per second, which is going to be used for slow motion videos. You can also record at 1080p, 30, 60, and 120 frames per second, and 4K only at 30 frames per second. Alright, so this is what the footage looks like on the rear camera of the Pixel 4. I have a couple lights set up here, and this is the original microphone noise from the Pixel 4 microphones. Now the front-facing camera of this Pixel phone is an 8 megapixel camera with a 2.0 aperture and a 90-degree field of view. So it's obviously going to be wider than the other photos, and it's going to give you that nice selfie look, especially when you're taking a selfie with other people. It's going to be able to keep them all within the frame. The recording quality in the front-facing camera is going to be capped at 1080p, 30 frames per second. Alright, so this is what the front-facing camera looks like. I have two lights set up here just like in the other video, and I'm using the internal microphones within the Pixel 4. Now the still photos are always going to be great on this phone. It's still an amazing Google camera. As you guys can tell, the portrait modes here looks really well. The colors are amazing. It still gives your photos that Google look, and with the night sight works really well, especially with the astrophotography session, which allows you to take photos of the stars, and the photos honestly look really good. Now let's go ahead and talk about the battery on the Pixel 4, which is something that I got a lot of crap for back in 2019. I mean, it's 2800 milliamp hour battery, is smaller than what is in the Pixel 3a, but the battery life is honestly decent. It'll serve you all day as long as you're not playing intensive games on it. But for social media scrolling, texting back and forth, it should last you throughout your whole day without needing to charge it. Now the Pixel 4 stepped it up with its 3700 milliamp hour battery, and that is honestly way better than the Pixel 4. I have the Pixel 4 XL. I use it throughout the whole day to watch YouTube videos, scroll through social media, and I text back and forth. And at the end of the day, I'm still standing with 40% battery. Now let's talk about the software. The phone does come with Android 10, and you are getting security updates monthly with Google, and it's also a promise that it's supposed to give you software updates for at least 3 years. Now even though this is guaranteed, it's still in the future and it's not something we should be holding our breath for, but it is guaranteed, so at least you'll have that option in case you keep this phone for 3 or more years. Now let's talk about the design of this phone. It's honestly very sleek. It has a square camera cutout in the back. It has a glass back which makes those colors pop. And if we turn it around, we see that the front has those bezels on the top and bottom. So no, there is no notch display and no hole punch display, which is great. It means uninterrupted screen space. And the top bezel is a little bit larger than the bottom, but that's because that's where the motion sensor is implemented, which allows us to use those gestures with the Pixel. Now, I've never used the gestures, but it is there and it's an option, and that is the reason why we have that top bezel a little bit larger than the other bezel at the bottom. Now, bezels have never been a problem for me, so I honestly enjoy this screen. It's honestly large and it's honestly very bright, and it works very well with videos. That square camera cutout in the back is also flat, and it has a glass layer over the camera lenses, which means that even if you set the phone on your back and you don't use a case, those camera lenses won't get scratched and you'll still be able to take great photos and videos. As for the specs with the Pixel 4 and 4 XL, they both come with a Snapdragon 855, 6GB of RAM, and 64GB of storage for the entry model. The Pixel 4 is starting at $500 with those specs, whereas the Pixel 4 XL will cost you $100 more at $599. If you do decide to go with 128GB on either device, that's going to cost you $100 more. But right now, Best Buy is having a sale where if you activate your phone through them, you can shave $50 off of any of these prices. Now let's not forget that neither of these phones come with an extra SD card slot, but you do get unlimited storage, HD quality with Google Photos. Now I know it's not going to be full quality photos, but at least it's an option that you can use, and you can go ahead and have as many HD photos as you want up on the Photo Google Cloud. I personally would recommend that you go with the 4XL simply because of that battery size. Like I said, I use mine throughout the whole day and I don't ever need to charge it. I still end throughout the night with 40 or 30% battery left, and I just charge it overnight and I can use it my whole next day without having to worry about recharging it. And now that 2800 battery, like I said before, is actually decent, but over time it is going to deteriorate, and those 3 years of software updates aren't going to mean anything if your battery is crap. And unfortunately, like with all other flagship phones out there, switching out the battery isn't as simple as going to buy an extra one and just plugging it in right in the back. If you guys are also looking towards the Pixel 4a and which phone is better for you between the Pixel 4 or the Pixel 4a, make sure you guys click the card up here. That's going to take you into a video I did between the two phones where I compare both of them and let you guys know which one is better for you. Make sure you guys get subscribed so you guys don't miss any of my future content. Like this video if you guys got something out of it. And I want to know from you guys, which phone are you guys planning to buy? Is it the Pixel 4, the 4 XL, or are you guys going to be waiting for the 4a? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks again for sticking around to the end, and I'll see you guys around.